if you ever watch Tubal Cain's channel, he talks about, you know, videos that he did that nobody watched. And so I wanted to take a minute and do a video on some of the projects that I thought were like the coolest things I ever made. And then it was kind of disappointing because like nobody watched them. And part of that, I think the deal is they were like long form videos, so they were like, you know, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. And so people kind of got tired and didn't watch it. But a lot of people didn't watch the first one. Now I think my regular subscribers, most of those guys watched, you know, a lot of it. But you know, most of these videos I'm going to talk about today got like less than 1,000 videos. And I mean, look at this thing. It's really cool. And, you know, I cast this part and then I took a regular pressure gauge and I enlarged it to like, I think this is like 6 inches or something. And then, you know, made the little needle that goes on there and bent these real cool copper pipes and made the board and all that kind of stuff. But then, you know, nobody really watches them. Anyway, so I'm gonna put a link to in the description of all these videos. Maybe it'll kind of rekindle a little bit of interest in them. Probably not, but you know, I just thought I'd take a second to go, hey, these are some things I thought were awesome and nobody watched them. So anyway, here we go. Now this might be like, I think this is like really like maybe the first machine that I ever made. But this, my Acne Shakomatic, it shakes paint cans, you know. And this is not only really cool, but it is super, super helpful. Like I use this thing, every time I use a can of paint, I use this, you know, to mix the paint up. Now, I started out with a wire basket and then I poured this to make a better basket and then it like fell off the shelf and got bent, but it still works, so I haven't changed it. This thing actually fell off the wall. So, and then this thing over here, this really wasn't one of the things I was going to talk about, but that's from an old microwave, and that's what I use to control this. You know, I give it a start like that, and off we go. And that mixes my paint cans. And I think it's the coolest thing ever. This is a giant rheostat, and years ago I bought the rheostat on eBay, and I had it sitting around here for a long time. And so then I came up with this project so that I could actually use the thing, and it goes, you put 110 volts into it, and you can run like 20 amps through this thing. It's really awesome. I mean, you could like run a dryer off this thing. Well, maybe not a dryer, but you could run a microwave off of this thing. Not that you would want to, but anyway. So so you start with 120 volts, and it actually will carry it on up where it puts out 142 max right there. It's got AC output here, DC over here. This flips it from AC to DC. This is, you can see the top of it. I don't know if I can get the shine off of it. It was an Amertran, I don't know, it was the American Transformer Companies who made the rheostat that goes in there. I like the toggle switches on it and these little rose lights right here. Anyway, I think this is cool too. Alright, this is the Acme Temp Troll 9000, and I use this thing a lot. It's really handy if you've got to have a certain temperature, like if you need to, I'll use it if I'm trying to get bread to rise in the wintertime and it's cold. I'll put a heating pad down, put the bowl on top of that, throw some kind of a igloo or something over the top of it, or a box, and you put this in there to keep the temperature in a certain range, and it works really good. People use them to brew beer, and I've used it to control a light to keep chicks, baby chicks at the right temperature. Anywhere that you need a certain temperature, it works really good for heating and cooling. So if you had some type of a cooler, like an air conditioner or something, you would hook to this thing, you could use it for that too. But anyway, nobody watched these, and I would have thought people would have thought some kind of control like this was useful, but maybe it was too complicated to build, because really all you need is this module right here and some wires to do this thing. All right, here's the last one, and these are actually lead hammers. And I think Tubal Cain started this thread a long time ago too. He started talking about lead hammers, and then a whole bunch of different makers got involved in doing it. And I wound up making these because Tubal Cain was showing this one that you had the handle and then a mold, and you could remold the head. And I thought, that is the coolest thing. I've got to have one of those. So I made it in actually 3 different sizes. I made this little bitty one, and then I made a medium-sized one, and then I made a gigantic one. And the gigantic one, it used this mold right here to make the head, so you can see it was quite a bit bigger than that, and it was really heavy. And it actually snapped this handle off because the handle's aluminum. And so I think next time that I redo this, I'm going to bore out this head and I'm going to put a metal rod in here to help strengthen that. But I've never had any trouble with this one or this little one here either. And so the little one uses this really cool mold right here. And so you just melt that off of there, and then you clamp this on here with these little wings. Then you melt the lead back down, you pour it down in there, and you get a brand new hammer again. And then the mold for this one is this mold right here. I thought these things were the coolest thing ever, and they still are. I think I love, you know, redoing them, and you get, like I said, you know, you get a whole brand new hammer. Anyway, I think maybe what I need to do is go back and take some of these videos, and you know, they're probably too long, and go and shrink them down to like 10 minutes or something like that, and put them back out and see if there's any more interest in them, because some of these things I think are really kind of cool. Anyway, and I'm not talking about the people who normally watch my videos, because I know they were probably interested in them, but it just seems to me, it kind of makes me sad that the whole rest of the internet world out there doesn't care about cool stuff like this. Anyway, thank you for watching.